out of the spirituality closet, right?
Do you know why? Because they don't like change. And they're not ready. And people that don't aren't ready to evolve spiritually. And it doesn't. I'm not saying that because I've evolved spiritually, I'm better. There's no wrong or right. What's good for me does it. I don't give a shit if it's not good for somebody else.
Right.
But it's because of the change and the people just drop away, and there's nothing that you can do about it. And it's it it's like when the trend came out about boundaries, I got really shitty with people, and they'd go, "Oh, I'm setting boundaries for myself, and I'm doing this, and I won't answer the phone, and if I don't feel like communicating with you," and I'm thinking, like, come on, you don't have to do anything. It's not about a thought process. It's actually trusting the creator removes what needs to be removed, and what comes in is supposed to come in, and you still need to have no judgment. People need to get off their bloody high horses and have no judgment and trust that whoever's in their life is there for a lesson.
Right. Yeah, and
It's a
there's
gift.
still, there's still some friends I've got, and family, obviously,
Yeah,
the older generation that, I don't talk about spirituality with them. I don't talk
yeah,
about limiting beliefs, and I don't talk about the fact that I've done all of these different modalities and
yeah,
thing that I do because they just don't get it. And but that's okay, Linda. Like you said, it's
yeah.
it's okay. It's not
Mm.
it's not their path, it's mine,
No, yeah, true.
right?
And like I said, with the generational being a curse breaker, even with Theta, we're healing 7 generations in the past and 7 generations in the future.
Yeah.
So their kids and grandkids are going to benefit from it anyway. But
Yeah.
it's actually taking it out of the mindset too. Back when we started, like the slaps were huge, but now humanity has evolved, and kids don't quite have the karma because we've cleared the shit. They've got their lessons that they've got to learn, but we've actually cleared the way for them, and
Yeah.
they're coming online spiritually so much faster and clearer,
Yeah.
and it's just so nice to see. Just there's going to be kids one day that aren't born with karma.
And welcome back to the Passionate Pioneer podcast, series 3. You know me, I'm Beth, the Passionate Pioneer, and this podcast is your connection into spiritual awakening experiences and, of course, the path to joyful living. And today I'm joined by Linda Willow Roberts. Hi, Linda.
Good. I'm going to say good morning, Beth. It's like it's 3 o'clock in the morning. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's the witching hour, Linda, right for you.
Oh my God, yes. And how many nights do we all wake up at that time?
Right. I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect. It ties in this hour of the morning, the witching hour, ties in perfectly for what you do
Yes.
in your everyday work life. So for people who don't know you, would you mind giving us a quick introduction before we dive into
Yeah, I
your
would.
story?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Linda Willow Roberts, and the witching hour, I'll just note, is when I always felt like I came back into my body. So I've been off learning and doing things, and then I feel like that's when you come back into your body a lot of the times, and that's why you wake up. I've been on my spiritual path for 35 years out of the need of my life was shit. I had really bad life experiences. Didn't listen to the universe's slaps, and they got worse and worse and worse. And out of the need to want to change that, I started doing my modalities. I turned 60 in August. So in my 20s, I started doing modalities. Started off with Louise Hay, Lillian too with Feng Shui, Reiki, started that off. But, I was born in Tasmania. So 35 years ago, when I wanted to learn new modalities and try and shift things for myself, there was never, not a lot of spiritual teachers around back then. So it was more like trial and error. So I've done consistently, I'm a learner. In human design, I'm a reflector. So we're quite rare. There's only 1% of us in the world, and I just needed to keep learning. So I did more and more modalities. I'm a Reiki master now. I'm a Theta healer and practitioner. I'm a human design practitioner, and I just added the need to do that. I found like the blueprint for me. I found what worked. I went to a lot of counselors and a lot of, I'd been married twice. My first relationship with my father, a daughter's father, wasn't a good one. And it was very volatile. So I found that I went to counselors and even tried Dianetics and all different sorts of things, and nothing really, shifted it until I started doing theta healing, and that just shifts it like that. Theta healing is a brainwave that you go up to, and you're dealing straight with the creator to the person. To me it was, and it's a clear channel. It's not like Reiki when it brings things to the surface and then you go away and leave the person. So theta was the glue that put it all together, and I think allowing it to morph into what it needs to be for you, and not like a copy of other people that have done the same modalities. You find your unique signature, and that's what the universe reads. So, and then I started teaching people, and that I really like. I love speaking. Give me a microphone, it's at a stage, and I don't shut up, as you can tell. I created the I'm a Manifestor Magical Oracle cards. I created the Manifestation Flowchart course. I've got a free 5-day reset, because I wanted to teach people how that they could get better life experiences and start living deliberately.
Wow. There's a lot to unpack in just that one bio, right? Just that one introduction.
Yeah, it's
Fascinating.
everybody's unique, and
Yeah.
most of us start through trauma or needing to change our life experiences, and we just go on that search, don't we?
Well, absolutely. And I think that, as women, especially a Gen Xer,
Yeah,
because that's where we are. We're in the sandwich generation, aren't we?
we're the
And
no shit
the
generation.
no shit generation. We were the ones that went off on our bikes or went walking or
Yeah,
went off with friends all day with no phone,
yeah,
no nothing, sometimes not even a bottle of water, right? And we just got up to all sorts of things. There were no
yeah.
phones, there was no recordings, there's no evidence.
Thank
Um,
God.
Thank God. I mean, it wasn't all bad. I mean, we weren't bad children, we didn't do anything that was,
No.
crazy. Um, but we went and did our own things, and we, fought our own battles, um and we learned trial by fire,
Yeah, true. True,
because
true, true.
that we're really forging, we're the link between the
Yes.
older generation and the newer generations. We are the link and the glue, really. We're changing things, and obviously, that's exactly what you've done. Interesting that when you first started this journey, Linda, you said you were following Louise Hayes,
Yeah.
but there really wasn't a lot of information
No.
available 35 years ago, right?
Yeah, luckily there was a lady, because I was born in Tasmania, so that's where I was living at the time. She started doing teaching Louise Hay. She did 10-week courses. And so I did it twice, bang straight after one another. And she said, why do you want to do it twice? And I said, to fine tune it. So I knew that my journey had started and the unraveling of things had started. Um, but I needed to do it again. And so I was following Doreen Virtue and doing her courses, what I could, Um, so I started way back then. I always have done cards. Like I'm a certified psychic medium and a angel intuitive and psychometry, and I'm a spiritual teacher is what I call myself now, because I can teach other people. But I started back with cards and just normal playing cards. It was funny because I didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew that clubs was money and whatever. And I went to the local library way back then. That's how, we got our information from the library.
Yeah, we did.
And yeah, get the book and actually could smell it.
Yeah.
And I got this wonderful book that taught me how to read playing cards, and I still have it. I never took it back.
Oh,
I know, isn't that naughty of me? But it just taught me so much. And then I started with the, tarot and oracle decks. And people used to just come round. They'd arrive on Thursday and not leave until Sunday. And I'd be sitting doing bloody cards all weekend and having a drink and whatnot. So yeah, it was a real fun way to begin, I suppose, by trial and fire. Yeah,
And I also love when you talked about the different modalities, and
yeah.
you touched on Theta Healing. So I've done Theta Healing as well. So I'm trained
Oh,
in
have you?
Theta Healing, and I really, I've never had or I can't say I've never had the opportunity to use it. I think it was more of an opportunity for me to dive more into who I was and my
Yeah,
story,
yeah,
rather than um, learning it to teach and use as a modality. I kind of used it for me to
yeah,
understand more of my journey.
yeah.
But I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
Well, it was the
Healing.
glue that put everything together for me.
Right.
Um, yeah, it was the thing that shifted the most. I'm certified in about 14 or 15 certifications in theta. But back when I started, and I wasn't certified, I started a long time ago and I wasn't certified. I never did it with other people. It was for me. And I had a theta teacher in Tasmania. Um, and it was the thing that shifted, because it doesn't go through you. She went, or I go through from the creator straight to the person, and it's like this roadmap. It takes you straight to the bottom belief, so that you can remove it and then replace it with new beliefs. And it just is bang, bang, bang. I'm a Leo Sag and quite logical and don't really get into the fluff of things. So I like using a modality that goes straight to the point. We've got to do a little bit of digging to find out what's underneath there and absolutely shift it. So, there's no shit there. It's just so easy. And it's a clear channel because it goes from creator straight to the client.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing I find with Theta Healing, is that you do have, I realized that, how close I was to source and that I got a direct
Yeah.
contact to source to fix things that I needed to
Yeah.
fix and unpack the layers of beliefs
Yes. Yeah.
and conditioning, right, that was
Yeah.
stuck in my body, really,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
my mental beliefs. um quite fascinated. But it isn't it, you said that, it was the glue that tied it all together for you.
Yeah.
And that's I think these days it isn't, you have to use these lots of different types of modalities because,
Yeah.
clients, women in particular, are looking for not just a cookie cutter. You've got to
No.
you've got to do something bespoke for them, which is,
Yeah.
what do you need? Okay, maybe you need some of this and a little of this and
Yeah.
some of this, and you've just got to tailor make
Yeah.
a session depending on what they need. And I think the more tools that you have,
Yeah.
the easier it is to work with people, right, Linda?
Oh my God, isn't it? I think actually it was quite funny when it morphed together to what it needed to be for my vibrational frequency and for people that come to me to resonate. I went and did these, you have share Reiki days and you go along and you share your Reiki and at the end of the Reiki session, the lady that had organised came along and she said to a lady, thank you for, your Reiki, and another lady, thank you, for sharing your Reiki. And she got to me and she said, thank you for whatever you do. Because she couldn't put it into words.
Right.
It's like, so sometimes I think getting out of your own way and just allowing, and it comes a lot of it through the theta brainwave, because spirit creator, spirit, the universe is going to just direct you. If you give up that need to control that session, control the energy, try and figure it out through your mortal mind, and you just channel the information and you just go to whatever you're guided to, it really is having 100% faith in the creator stepping in and doing the healing and the unraveling for you. while nurturing the client. And yeah, you really have to step out of it and let it just, organically happen.
Yeah. So let's step back then, because
Yep,
that's a beautiful introduction and into what you do. And I think that
yep,
um, it's amazing how far you've got now. So if we step
yep,
back to the beginning, and you mentioned many people, it's a trauma.
yep,
It's a trauma point in their life, which I call a spiritual turning point, where
yep,
the universe has hammered you, and then you've really got to you make a decision to change direction or to do
yep.
something. Um, Tell me what that point was for you when this all started.
Yeah. So I always had a knowing, always knew stuff, didn't really understand the severity, time frames, or anything like that. So I do teach spiritual development. So I always get my students to start their own little grimoire so that they can see, put down what they're feeling and how long it takes for something to happen. But way back then, I was just I'm the youngest of seven. And now in hindsight, realize that I'm the curse breaker of my family. Um, but I actually, with Theta, can now, say everything that I learn, I can do with ease, grace, and joy. Because way back when we started, now you have to think 35 years ago, our vibrational frequency as humanity was really starting to come together. The 144,000, light workers hadn't done their stuff yet. So we really were shift the frequency. So back then, I didn't really understand the slaps from the universe. I knew that I was not happy and I was not having good life experiences. I was the party girl at that back in those days. I was never promiscuous, but I drank an awful lot. I could outdrink most people. I think my family conditioning and the way that I grew up, like my dad's family were drinkers and they played cards, and as a kid I'd sit in one of my aunt and uncle's spots where they went to the loo after in a card game, and I'd sit there and smoke their smoke and drink their drink and play cards at a very young teenage, years. So the slaps got harder. And one really that when my daughter's father and I were splitting up, I was really at a low point, really at a low point. And I was in bed one night and I just felt I didn't want to be here. Like Holly was only really little. I was had to find somehow to pay the mortgage, didn't have any money, didn't have a job because I was a mum at home, and I really didn't want to be here. And these arms went around me like something I've never felt. It's not like arms, it's like this, you wrapped in warmth, absolutely wrapped in warmth. And I knew that it was something that was not from Earth. Um, and that sort of shook me for a few days, and then I forgot about it. And then I just put it at the back of my mind and just put my head down. Mum used to put a hand under my chin and said, "Chin up, girl." And because Gen X's, we just had to get on with it,
You just get on with it, right? That's
Yeah, you just have to do it. So I ended up getting three jobs. Mum and Dad helped me with my daughter, so that they helped look after her. So she'd be with them while I had one job. Then I'd pick her up and do two on the way home, sort of thing. But still, the slaps got harder and harder because I really didn't step into that. It was really amazing. I found a spiritual teacher in Tasmania, and I used to have to drive 40 minutes into the country to see her. And she sat there one day and reeled off that experience of what I felt, what I heard, without me even ever saying anything about it. And I drove home, and I reckon I didn't speak for a couple of hours. I was like a stunned mullet. I don't know if you know what that saying is. My Aussie sayings.
I love
Caught-
Australia phrases, right? I was telling you before we started
Yeah.
this. I love the expressions from the Australians.
Because I was sick of trying to turn shit into strawberry jam because it doesn't work. There's another one. And yeah, I just couldn't talk. I was just stunned at what she came up, and I still didn't listen. So then the slaps got bigger and bigger and bigger, and I was just going down a path that was a destructive path. Um, but I wanted to have a better life for my daughter and myself. So I kept doing modalities. I knew that the connection was there. When I stepped into it fully, though, like it's just my family actually had a intervention for me and because I then stepped into Willow and started speaking and healing people and doing cards, and I don't need to do cards because I am a psychic medium, but yeah, they had an intervention because they were really confused by the Willow because I'd come out of the closet in that way. And it was like really funny. And I started laughing and I said, oh, you'd rather the mess that was your sister that was, out, doing things all the time than the person that's starting to like herself. That
Isn't
was
it funny
absolutely,
that spirituality, though? I mean, years
yeah,
ago it had that woo stigma. It's still got that
yeah,
a little bit, and people are still a little bit confused about spirituality. And I think it's just because it has been talked about by gurus, and you've got to sit like a bloody Buddha and meditate
yeah,
all
no,
bloody day and be all sunshine and light, and the life's not like that, right? So
yeah, no.
you can
And then I
understand why
real
families are confused when you come out of the spirituality closet, right?
Do you know why? Because they don't like change. And they're not ready. And people that don't aren't ready to evolve spiritually. And it doesn't. I'm not saying that because I've evolved spiritually, I'm better. There's no wrong or right. What's good for me doesn't. I don't give a shit if it's not good for somebody else.
Right.
But it's because of the change and the people just drop away, and there's nothing that you can do about it. And it's it it's like when the trend came out about boundaries, I got really shitty with people. They'd go, "Oh, I'm setting boundaries for myself, and I'm doing this, and I won't answer the phone, and if I don't feel like communicating with you," and I'm thinking, like, come on, you don't have to do anything. It's not about a thought process. It's actually trusting the creator removes what needs to be removed, and what comes in is supposed to come in, and you still need to have no judgment. People need to get off their bloody high horses and have no judgment and trust that whoever's in their life is there for a lesson.
Right. Yeah, and
It's a gift.
there's still some friends I've got, and family, obviously,
Yeah,
the older generation that, I don't talk about spirituality with them. I don't talk
yeah,
about limiting beliefs, and I don't talk about the fact that I've done all of these different modalities and
yeah,
thing that I do, because they just don't get it. And but that's okay, Linda. Like you said, it's
yeah.
it's okay. It's not
Mm.
it's not their path, it's mine,
No, yeah, true.
right?
And like I said, with the generational being a curse breaker, even with Theta, we're healing 7 generations in the past and 7 generations in the future.
Yeah.
So their kids and grandkids are going to benefit from it anyway. But
Yeah.
it's actually taking it out of the mindset too. Back when we started, like the slaps were huge, but now humanity has evolved and kids don't quite have the karma because we've cleared the shit. They've got their lessons that they've got to learn, but we've actually cleared the way for them, and
Yeah.
they're coming online spiritually so much faster and clearer,
Yeah.
and it's just so nice to see. Just there's going to be kids one day that aren't born with karma.
Yeah. I wish that, I hope for that day.
Yeah,
I
me
hope for
too.
that day.
Yeah.
Because we came with a lot of it, right? So if I'm going to reincarnate sometime in the future, I'd like to be one of those kids that comes in with no karma.
I said
Just have
that was
another
one.
experience here, right? Just
I said, oh, but my motivation was I'm not coming back another life and redoing this. So I'm just not doing that.
correct, correct. It's just, there's like we were talking, like you were talking about. I mean, it is. I think the older generation, they obviously had their issues and,
Yeah.
the do's and don'ts and the women put in boxes. I mean, my mom had limited choices for work and,
Oh, yeah.
our choices were better. But,
Yeah.
we've also had to be the sandwich generation and
Yeah.
cover the gap. I find
Yes.
sometimes that there's a big difference between that older generation, like my parents and my uncle and auntie, and then the younger generation, like the children. I don't have children, but like my brother's children, my sister's
Yeah.
children, there seems to be that gap of misunderstanding
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
And I feel that we're really the glue that pulls them together and says, it's okay to have different opinions.
Yeah. It
It's
is.
okay
It
to
is.
think differently. It's okay that you
Yes.
think out of the box. It's okay that you're stuck in your ways. It's
Yeah.
okay for, but you can still have a conversation
Yeah.
without
It's that
being angry.
it's that acceptance and the non-judgmental part, like, it's not up to us to judge. It's up to the creator to do that when their time comes around to get their heart weighed against a feather, to see what they've learnt and what they haven't learnt. But people don't understand, like I said, the first half of my life was shit. The second half's been really good. I've had lots of traveling experience. I've had lots of private access into sacred sites, picked up lots of ancient knowledge. And it's been like I've realized that, you know, I don't talk about religion and I don't talk about politics, but it made me realize, and I've been writing a book and it's at the editors, my second book's at the editors at the moment, that we've probably been every culture and every religion in all our past lives.
Yeah.
And I stood in Egypt and heard the call to prayer. And I just gob bumped everywhere, like I goose bumped everywhere. And it was like, it's just the remembrance. And then I thought, oh, I don't eat pork. Never have done. Don't like mum tried to trick me when I was young. Well, that didn't work. Because I just went everywhere. But there's things that show up in our life of different cultures that we're interested in languages, in belief systems, and like the new shamans that are coming out that are now experiencing all different cultures and learning all of the modalities and the information and the history behind it all. And there's no judgment because we've been that in every life, different cultures, different countries, different people, different modalities, different beliefs. And if you start remembering where you come from, then that judgment goes out the window, you know?
Yeah. And that's fascinating for me with the past lives. I've had some past life regression therapy, so I understand a few
Yeah.
past lives that I've had and the lessons I learned.
Yeah.
Um, but it is fascinating.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I
Yeah.
like was living in Tassie, and so we were a penal colony. Tassie once was Van Diemen's land, and so the atrocities that happened there when it was colonized. Um, and there's a lot of a big rift about Australia Day and colonization and what actually the atrocities that did happen. But so I started, got some information about my first ancestor that was, brought from England to Tasmania. Him and his brother came from Reigate in Surrey in England and they got done for highway robbery. And yeah, it wasn't just a
Right.
potato or a piece of bread. I feel like going like that. I don't mind coming from a
Were they were
convict.
they related to Dick Turpin, who was the
I don't
the,
know.
the highwayman of the time, the highway
I
robbery
know.
man of the time?
So they'd stopped the hanging, so they sent them to Tasmania. So shipped them, left, they had to leave their family, go all the way to Tasmania, and that was in 1830 something, and in 1853 they were pardoned, and that's how come I got to be in Tasmania. Of all the beautiful places in the world, I got to
Wow.
be. But I went back to Reigate in Surrey, so I've been to England a few times, and it's like I knew where I was going. Like some really weird stuff happened, and pe people that are with me are just going, "Oh my God, I'm just going to follow you." I had no I'd never been there. Here's this like 5'2" woman on the other side of the world, and I was getting all these messages and really weird stuff happening. And I'd been there probably it was my third time. I went with my sister and my brother-in-law and we're at Brighton and I said, can we just, I know it's going to take us an hour and a half to get there, but can we go to Reigate because that's where we're from and yeah. And they went, all right. And they went, what do you want to look at? And I went, I don't know, maybe some cemeteries or, around that age. And they went, okay. And my brother-in-law was driving that day and we got to Reigate and I'm thinking, yeah, it doesn't really feel familiar. Other places in England felt more familiar. But he pulled into this car park and I said, like, what are you doing here? He said, well, this is where the local council is. See the sign? And I went, yeah. And he said, so if you're going to ask about cemeteries and that, this would be probably the place. And my sister and I went, oh, yeah, all right. So, off we go and go into this council chambers. And we got up to the reception and there's this really big man there. And I said, hi, my name's Linda and I'm from Tasmania and this is my sister. And our relatives are from here. And I wanted to know, his name was William Apted, and I'm wanting to know, cemeteries around, in the 1800s where we could go and have a look. And there's a lady behind him and she rolled back on her office chair and she said, what name did you say? And I said, his name was William Apted. And she said, oh, I'm relieving Jane Apted. If you want to wait 5 minutes, she'll be back from lunch. And our mouths just dropped, and it was the funniest thing. And she came down and she was tall and thin. And I said, oh, you don't really look like family because we're all short and big boobed and stout. And she said, come with me and I'll take you upstairs. She said, I'm not supposed to, but the big alderman boards that they have on the wall. And she showed us where his name was. And then I looked at his one of our other relatives' name was up there, and it was Oliver John Cromwell Apted. And I thought, oh my God, great! Like who to be named after would, Cromwell. Thank you. No, they're like we knew which side of the bridge they were on. But it was just amazing. And then I got back home in Tassie, and I thought, now I know why I felt so displaced. I mean, it's a long story to get to that point. But yeah, no wonder so many people feel so displaced because it's not where your roots are. It's not where your blood is.
Hi, I just wanted to pop on here just to say thank you so much for being here, watching this video and supporting my channel. It is my honor to bring you these stories from these incredible women who are passionate about their lives and have alchemized their spiritual awakening journeys from service to self to service to others. If you would like to be part of my Passionista community, just grab a free copy of my workbook, which you'll find a link below. It's called Your Passionista Journey Starts Here. And start making those small changes to your life that you need right now. Thank you again for being here. Love you to subscribe and hit the notification button so that you know when all the new weekly episodes are live. Thanks again, Passionista. Much love and joy. Now let's get back to the interview. Isn't that funny? Because I've never felt at home in the UK.
Yeah, you said
I
that.
left it. Yeah, I left in my 20s. And apart from going back for visits, I've never been back.
Yeah,
It's just never felt right for me.
yeah,
In fact, I lived 15 years in the Caribbean and that felt much better for me. I felt right
yeah,
at home, just felt
yeah,
familiar. I think I've obviously lived lives in
yeah,
in the Caribbean somewhere, not
yeah,
necessarily on that island, but somewhere because it felt very familiar and comfortable. And then I moved when I came back to this side of the world, to Europe. I didn't want to
yeah,
go back to England, and I came to Europe. I
yeah,
went to Spain, and now I'm in Italy.
yeah,
And Italy feels, I thought it was Spain first of all, but I did 4 years there, and then I was like, okay, it's enough. And then I got the calling,
yeah,
you need to go to Italy. And I was like, no, I don't want to move again. So, but anyway, I did, and I moved to Italy, and I've just felt like a pig in muck here.
yeah. How
literally.
long have you how long
I've
have you
been
been?
5 years now in Italy,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just doesn't get old. I just
yeah.
absolutely love it. I just love it.
Italy is one of my favorite, I said to you, one of my
Yeah.
favorite countries. It is just absolutely beautiful.
So that's for me, that was tuning out the world and listening to my own voice. Something is still wrong. I'm in Spain, something is still wrong.
Yeah,
And so I did a shamanic meditation. That's what I did. It was in COVID, and I was doing some extra modalities and training some more.
yeah,
And and I came across this course, and it included a shamanic meditation, and that led me to really trust myself.
yeah,
I was learning to do anyway. I was 80% there. And then I got the message, Italy, and I had this vision, which was just incredible. And that's when I came to Italy and bought the house. But my question, Linda, for you now, my next question is all
yeah,
about intuition and following your inner voice, because it's always been suppressed.
yeah,
Society have made us suppress it. Don't trust yourself. Can't trust yourself.
yeah,
You can trust everybody else, and you have to ask all of their opinions first.
yeah.
So how do we do that?
St
How did you learn to do that and start listening to your inner voice and your intuition?
Yes, I call it stepping out of the matrix. It really is detaching. So when you've done enough healing, enough unraveling and unpacking, the messages and the synchronicities come in that you can't not see them. And you start filling that void that you've had internally. And I know it sounds cliche, but it's not having that void and trying to, I mean, I've got a really addictive personality, so I've always tried quick fixes to fix that, and I tried everything wrong before I tried everything right. And then I started liking myself. And I think once you start liking yourself and you feel that internal void, by emptying out and replacing it with the trust that you have, the synchronicities that and the signs. Like I really lived this half of my life living in trusting the synchronicities and the messages. Um, like they just come. You see them, like birds give me messages. You see, everybody sees rego signs and the feathers and the coins and all the rest of it. But it's really tapping in and strengthening that connection. And I think once you get to that point of filling that void yourself and liking who you are, your connection to the Creator strengthens tenfold, like way, way more than that. But you believe in, and it's whoever your thoughts go up to. It's not just like, for me, it's God. For me, it's like the Creator, the universe, spirit is that's who it is. But it's whoever your thoughts and your prayers go up to. So it's your internal conversation that you're having. We live life in 95% in our subconscious, and our subconscious is there to protect us. So in any given situation, like I've said to people, we're so on point with walking into a room and feeling negativity. You know what energy you don't like, what feels comfortable, what doesn't. But we turned off the part of looking for some positive energy. So I started trying to see the positive so that it would mirror back to me. So wherever I go, however I feel, I'm throwing the positive and love energy to that area, that place before I even get there. So then only positive things happen to me. I used to say to my daughter when we're going somewhere, I want to see something I've never seen before. And then I started seeing stuff that I didn't really want to see. And I thought, oh, I need to be a little bit specific. So
Yeah.
I'd like to see something that I'd never seen before that's really great and no harm to anybody. So, you find your way through that so that you actually can trust those feelings and those signs. And it's getting out of your own way and stop bloody trying to control everything. It's allowing and accepting where you are at this point in time.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And in fact, I didn't even realize at the time that I was following synchronicities, but you talked about the library.
Yeah.
You've still got the book from the library. But
Yeah.
in fact, in my 20s, when I went traveling and I needed to leave England, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And a friend of mine suggested she was working on the cruise ships, and I thought, oh, so I went to investigate at the library. And
Yes.
there were all of these at the time, there were so many articles all about cruise ships and information and interviews and
Wow.
blah blah blah. And I was like, ding a ling a
Yep.
ling a ling a ling, right?
Yeah. That's what
It
it's
was
like.
it was a sign and a synchronicity, which I didn't really understand at the time. Now
Yeah.
I can say, oh, well, that's a definite sign. I did the right thing and everything fell into place, right?
Yeah.
When I was leaving the Caribbean, everything fell into place. It was very easy, and it was just someone bought my house, my car, it all worked out.
Yeah.
It
See.
worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
And that was a sign that you're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
But it is really difficult sometimes to trust yourself because people said, "Oh, what are you doing? You don't need to be doing that. You're doing, what are you doing here? Why are you leaving? What are you?" And I'm like, okay, I'm trusting myself. Like when I
Yep.
traveled in my 20s, why are you going to work on the cruise ships? Just get another job. Where are you going? What are you doing? When I left the Caribbean to come and work in Europe and train and retrain and change my career completely. What are you doing? Are you crazy? That's difficult. That's nuts. What,
Yep.
right? And I just said, I just had to close out the noise.
Yes.
But it is difficult, isn't it, Linda? For most people,
Oh my God. It is.
most of us.
People can't, I don't ask people their advice anymore because people only come from their life experience and the wisdom and the knowledge that they know. And
Yeah.
that's not saying that they're not intelligent, but that's just saying that I need to come and my connection with the creator needs to come from that place because people only ever come from their experience and their fear. Unless you've done the work and the unraveling, uh, um, a lot of people, like a high percentage of people, are still acting in that fear-based energy.
Well, yeah. Fear
And
is it's the fear of the unknown. What if,
yeah, yeah,
right? And to be
yeah,
honest with you, it's a human condition that we do like stability and we don't like change. We're quite resistant to change.
yeah.
But
Well,
most people, most of us, we
but
like
when
to
you
get
realize that
comfortable.
change doesn't need to be hard, it can be easy.
Right.
That was the big thing for me was because I wasn't getting the inf like I wasn't learning the lesson. And once you just see it, in anything that happens, it could be just a crabby person at the bloody supermarket. And I go, okay, where is that in me? Where is that energy coming from? Where have I experienced it before? It's all theta training. And it just, okay. Like I walk around most days going, okay, creator, it is requested that I resolve that on the history cancer. And I'm just having this internal, but normally vocal conversation. I live by myself. And if anybody walking past, here's me in there going, "Oh, creator, can you release this?" It's constant and it's a daily thing,
Yeah, it's a
you know.
daily thing.
Yeah, it's because we're ever evolving
Yeah,
and learning.
yeah.
Even with my human design, I my human design is a reflector.
Yes, you said.
And
I can't remember what I am. I'm a, I'm a bit of I'm a 6.2, so I'm a bit of a hermit, which is correct.
yeah,
And also a generator, I think.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
generator.
So
Yeah.
you can generate your own energy where I just reflect back and I've been like walking bloody karma for people all my life. And it was, my motto for being a reflector is surprise and delight. So it's being free, it's being and doing things that are out of the normal and I'm a constant learner. I've just done so many more modalities in the last couple of years is because I just absorb and I reflect back to people things. But it is the surprise and delight and the freedom has helped me with manifesting. And that's why I created the courses and the cards was because it's helped me, I suppose, balance. also the masculine and the feminine, because I've had two marriages, I've been a single mum, worked my ass off. That's being in your masculine, you're driven, you're out there and you're working hard to bring everything in. And I've been really, this is my second Saturn return when I turned like around 60. Um, and I've really been trying to be in my feminine, to sit back and allow and receive, to be surprised and delighted, and not to try and control everything, and just allowing it to come in. And that's part of it as well.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it. We have been, the whole planet has been dominated by masculine energy
Yeah.
for a long time, but that is do, 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 do. And the question I ask
Yeah.
is, we're not human doings, we're human beings. So
Yeah.
when can you just be and relax and create? And as a generator,
Yeah.
this is why I love creating, and I love,
Yes.
do, doing new things and new projects and collaborating and creating communities and doing a podcast, because I just want to generate as much positive energy as possible.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's my mission. Right?
Oh,
Simple, really.
you're
Not
doing
very
well in your
simple.
mission.
Well, it's not easy, but um, but it has a snowball effect. If I can affect
Absolutely.
one person, then they affect more, and then
Yeah.
and so it continues. Um, but it's taken me a long time to understand that, and also
Yeah.
to ground it in. So
Yeah.
my question for you is, you've got all these different modalities.
Yeah.
What helps you the most in your everyday practice to ground yourself and to
Yeah.
help yourself, spiritual tools or
Yeah.
skills?
Listening to my body, like it has to be holistically mind, body, and soul. Your body just gives you, sometimes I work my butt off, and then other times I'm laying on the couch Netflixing. Um, it's listening to your body, and it's having that balance of I can drive to the beach in 4 minutes, but I've got the bush out the back. So it's actually having that balance and knowing yourself. Self-analysis is the biggest bloody tool everybody needs to have, because if you look at yourself, how am I feeling? What am I doing? What's not flowing? You get out of your own way. It really is asking yourself in any situation, and yourself, how does this make me feel? What am I feeling? And it's just being aware of yourself and knowing yourself. Doing so many modalities, you learn so much about yourself, where you're from, your conditioning, your past lives. It's all part and parcel of why and what virtues and lessons am I learning. Well, this is a learning planet. This is where we come to learn our lessons. And so if you're aware at some stage in your life, like, you can't put, you still, even though that the younger generation, and I'm sorry, but you can't put a 60-year-old's wisdom and experience on a 30-year-old. You just can't do that. That's where your Saturn return is. You have your Saturn return at around 30, you have your Saturn return around 60. Around 30, I didn't think that I would get past 30. I thought that I was not meant for this life around the age of 30. So many people I know that get to 30 and their life just, the plate just gets turned upside down, and it's like we're always recreating ourselves. And sometimes I've even, I'm really strong, but I'm sick of being really strong. Do I have to endure this some more?
Mm.
But it's looking at yourself and knowing and connecting to yourself and knowing what's happening and unfolding for you is not happening to you, it's happening for you. So it's shit happens, no, the shift happens.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good expression. Shit happens, the shift
Yeah.
happens, right?
Yeah, it does.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting you talk about the Saturn return. For anybody that's listening, that's in astrology, and you can look
Yeah.
that up. But Saturn return, that's interesting because most of the women I speak to are in midlife
Yeah.
transitions. But I have been speaking also to younger women now, women in their 30s who are also struggling.
Yeah.
That's the Saturn return because it's the big changes.
Yeah.
And I remember my 30s, but my Saturn return, it might have happened a little earlier because I went traveling at 26. That was my big turning point.
Yeah.
In my 30s, I stayed there. My 40s, I changed again. In my
Yeah.
50s, I changed again. You know,
Yeah.
it's for me, it's been every decade I've made a
Yeah.
change. I've
Yeah.
evolved every
Yeah.
decade, every 10 years. But I understand the Saturn return and I feel it.
Yes.
I feel
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Well, if you think like your life stages, so before 30, it's trial and error. That's how most people work. From there till 50, it's alchemizing. It's like coming into your own self, and then you turn into the crone, which is
That's
the
right.
the role model. So I
Yeah.
don't mind being a crone.
No, me neither. Love it. I'll take that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
the wisdom keeper, which is why we make very good teachers, mentors,
Mm.
and good listeners. We can,
That I'm a Leo Sage. My listening could be better.
yeah, you said that, and that's really funny because I'm a Leo, Cancer moon. Um, I don't know. I think my ascendant, I think, is Libra.
Oh, okay. So there's a bit of balance with you there.
I
So
do have a
yeah,
bit of balance, yeah.
yeah.
But I'm
So
very, very
yeah,
sensitive because of that Cancer moon. Gets me every
yeah.
time. Right.
Yeah. So, well, I'm a Sag moon, so I'm ready for freedom.
But you've
That's
got fire, fire, right? Fire and fire,
yeah.
right?
Oh my God, when I was 21, I was very fiery, very fiery.
Yeah.
I've mellowed over the years, but once you look at all of those things, once you put all of those, that's why I created the manifestation things, was because you put all of that knowledge, all of the modalities, and together in one spot, and it's like a foundation. You start from the core, and it's an ascension course, the manifestation flowchart course, and it takes you up through the stages, because that's what we've had to do to learn. We've done mind, body, and soul stuff. It's what the body needs, it's what the soul needs, and it's what the mind needs.
Fantastic. So before we finish, I want you to can you just show us again the cards that you created?
Yeah.
Because you gave
So
us a
they're
quick
called
flash, but I didn't see them.
Oh, sorry. So they're called the I'm a Manifestor Magical Oracle cards, and they do have a lot of magic in them. I'm going to pull some cards, a couple of cards for us now. How's
Yeah,
that?
fantastic. That's great.
Let's
Yeah.
have a shuffle. So I'm removing my energy for it. So I say, Creator, I remove my energy for it. What does your listeners need to know for their highest good? And so I just pull one, and I'm going to pull two. Actually, no, I'm pulling three.
Well, however you feel.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like taking yourself. It's not me, it's creator. The first one we got was the shine card. So the shine card is about not playing small. Everything, like I asked the creator a long time ago to make my cup refillable. So I didn't have to refill it. So it's refillable and the excess to go out to whoever needs it. So the shine card is you walk into a room and you light it up. Your smile lights people up. You give people the energy, you help them. It ripples out around, and people need your energy. And it's having the discernment, though, of who needs your energy and when to give it and when not to give it. It's all of those things, but it's shining because your light ripples out and just helps so many people in what you're doing. The next card that goes along with this is you'll love this one. This is the Own Your Shit card.
I like that.
That's what it's called, Own Your Shit.
Love it.
So so this is about being on stage. It's about you owning, not playing small again. It's about you owning your knowledge, your wisdom, everything that you've known, the life experiences that have got you to where you are today is being that role model. It's being standing on stage and going, this is who I am, loud and proud, because people need your energy. And the people that resonate with you, you can be accessible to them because they can find you because you're owning it and you're getting out of your head and really stepping forward to share that knowledge. And the last card was the trust card. Oh, I can't do that. The trust card. There's the spiritual train. When I'm on my spiritual train, things fly. When I get off, it turns to shit.
Yes,
Anyway,
true, right? You just
yeah.
leave it.
And there's the magic carpet ride, and that's what it feels like going from synchronicity to synchronicity. And Archangel Nathaniel's up there. Now, if you call on him, he will come in and burn everything that's not for your highest good. So this is saying trust, the synchronicities, trust spirit. So if you're looking at the story together, this is like allowing your light to come out, to shine, to go out to people, to stand in your greatness, to stand in and own it. It's not ego. When you're doing authentically and you like yourself and you're happy, then you can't do it. That's how the Creator sees you. And it's sharing your knowledge and your wisdom because you've got to a point now where you can help other people because you've worked on so much. And it's trusting that that's what you're supposed to do, to be on this spiritual train, to be a leader.
Wow, that's fantastic. Lovely.
Yeah.
Great cards. Very
Love them.
positive. Really
Yeah. I
lovely.
wanted I wanted them they have it upright and reversed and an action and an affirmation. So I wanted them so that you could actually learn from it, and that they
Yeah.
would give you being a Leo Sag. I just needed them to be logical. I don't know how many decks that I'd go like that.
Mm.
When you're refusing to see the future and you're trying to push, and I'd use 30 oracle decks and go to about 10 different psychics trying to get an answer when truly inside I already knew what it was, you
Yeah.
know. And so I wanted
Mm.
to create these cards so that they had an action step so that you actually have got something to do. You can actually go, okay, this is where I am in my manifesting journey. This is why it's not happening, or this is why it's happening. And have taken these action steps so that I can get onto that path.
Well, we could do a whole other podcast on tarot cards because I mean, Oracle, and especially Oracle cards, because I prefer them. I prefer
Yeah.
Oracle cards. And in fact, do
Yeah.
you find that when you pull one card, but you'll get a different message for different people, even with the same card? Do you get a
You
slightly
know,
different
so
message?
yeah, you do. It never comes out the same way.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes the theme is I do videos on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram every couple of days, and I put in, one card for every sign. And sometimes I'll get the same card for different signs, but it'll be a little bit different. There'll be something specific that I will have said in that one that somebody needs to know. So
Yeah.
yeah, it comes out differently. I channel things. I say to people, I don't remember what I said because they'll say to me, "Oh, when you said," and I'll go,
No.
because when I'm channeling, it doesn't go through my mortal brain. It doesn't. I don't retain it. It's just this blurt that comes out that just doesn't stay there.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I think that the those methodologies, those, the cards and the channeling and the theta, all of these things, these
Yeah,
modalities, they help us, don't they? They help us to really trust ourselves and open up so that we can be that conduit
yeah. It's
between the
strength.
creator and the human
Yeah, yeah, because it
soul.
strengthens it. It strengthens that connection, and it becomes um, undiluted. Especially when you're doing theta because it's coming straight from the creator. It's not coming through me. So it's undiluted. And when it comes like that, I do you want to I'm just going to do this too. So if you close your eyes and you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, and I ask the creator to send everybody that wants it unconditional love to every cell of their body. And all you need to do is say yes to receive that. And then feel that download of unconditional love coming into your body.
Right, you
And
can
breathe
really
it
feel
in.
that.
The thing that I notice that there's a lot of people that don't have never felt unconditional love.
I know. They've never
And
felt
that,
joy,
yeah,
joy and unconditional love. They don't. If you ask most women,
yeah,
what does joy mean to you, or what does
yeah,
unconditional love mean to you?
yeah.
They couldn't answer.
No, you ask them, do you like your life?
Yeah.
80 to 85% say no.
No.
And I go, please do the manifestation flowchart course because it'll just help you live deliberately. There's modules, there's over 30 videos. It's just helps you get that clarity and start feeling again instead of being numb.
And we'll include that link in the
Yes.
text of this video so that
Yeah.
our listeners can do that. Click the
Yeah.
link and join and do the
Yeah.
work. Yes. I'm going to finish with two final questions, Linda.
Okay.
If you could go back in time, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Ah, doing like child regression and going back to I would just say I love you. I think that that's really what that young me needed to know. I had an all right family. It was, quite, my dad drank a lot and I thought I had an all right family up until I did theatre. And then I thought, that mustn't have been normal. But it was normal in my household. But it's, yeah, yeah, I love you. I think that's what I would tell her. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And what do you hope your story will inspire in other women who are looking to live a more purposeful and joyful life?
To be happy, you don't settle. Don't settle. My conditioning was like in the most volatile of times, my mum, she loved me dearly, but it was her conditioning, said to me, it's not that bad just cooking him a baked meal. Like, just put up and shut up. And it's your place to have and to fix this. It's, you've got to do these things. And I think that know that you're loved just because you exist, and it's your birthright to be happy and to love your life, and you can do it in a way that is balanced and it balances in with, the rest of your life. But it's taking responsibility and not expecting somebody else to make you feel better.
Another beautiful answer. A million thanks to Linda for joining me today. Thanks to our audience for hanging out with us. We hope you found it inspiring and empowering, and you'll find all you need to know about both of us in the details below. So until next time, this is the Passionate Pioneer and Linda signing off. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Beth, for having me.
You're welcome. Wow, another powerful Passionista conversation. I hope that this guest's journey, experience, and story has inspired something deep within you. Remember, it's about following the joy moments in your life. It's a beautiful dance with the universe. If you would like to dive deeper into your joy journey with me, you will find all the links below this video, including a link to a free workbook that will help you to start your joy journey. And until next time, Passionista, I'll say goodbye. Much love and joy.